Thanks for joining us at L3 again tonight. We hope all is well, and we'd like to hear a win from you. So if you want to take a couple minutes, just share that, maybe get a couple volunteers. So the topic for today is fires of freedom. I like this topic because the story has to do with Nebuchadnezzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But whenever I think of fires of freedom, I try to think of something that I put before my relationship with God, before my walk with God. And whenever I was in addiction, I would do anything at any cost to get my fix because I just was so desperate to numb those emotions. I was leaning on myself to be able to handle it, when in all reality, at the end of my addiction, it actually brought me closer to God because I knew I couldn't do it on my own strength. I needed to draw into God and His promises in the Bible just to get out of that. You know, during addiction or that season of my life, I didn't see anything wrong at the time. I just knew what I had gone through was too much to bear. I was afraid of sleeping. I was this and that. So every excuse that I could just grasp onto, that's what I was doing. And so really just realizing life can be better. For a little while, I had to draw on to hope from other people just to get back. And then, just crying out to God, help me get through this season of my life. Let me get back to a normal, as some would call it, I guess, as normal as possible, life that's just pleasing and of purpose. Okay. So with me personally, after finding out the purpose in my life or what I believe God has in store for me, is using my story to help others when they're in addiction, when they're facing, getting out of a traumatic experience. And just, going from that to now being able to record these videos and sharing with you guys and being a part of your recovery journey. The Apostle Paul got bit by a snake, right? 3 days later, he's laying his hands on people and healing an entire island, performing miracles that he would have never thought possible, before he was murdering everybody that was a follower of Christ. And God had to remove his sight in order for him to become the person he was intended to be, to save lives, to provide healing. And that's exactly what God has in store for you and I. Things might have bound you before, but these hands that used to be bound or used to have bondage on them is now going to be used to help other people and just provide healing or be a part of somebody's journey. And so I just wanted to bring up a few key points on this week's lesson, and you guys can just break off into groups and take a few minutes to talk about it. What fire have you been facing that feels like it's out to get you? What negative emotion or habit or maybe non-follower is drawing you away from your relationship and living the life of your full potential? Can you identify some bondages that are separating you from God's plan for your life? Have you seen or felt Jesus with you in the fire? All right, so take a few minutes, talk about it, share your stories.